Marami sa ating mga dividend investors, favorite natin ang LTG kasi it has diversified businesses at consistent ang high yield dividends niya. But did you know that the biggest revenue driver ng LTG is its banking arm, ang Philippine National Bank? 58.9% ng total revenues ng LTG ay galing sa PNB. In terms of earnings contribution, PNB ang biggest contributor, accounting for 46% ng net income ng LTG for the first 9 months of 2025. Tobacco naman ang second largest contributor, contributing 36% ng LTG's net income. So PNB ang primary revenue at earnings driver ng LTG. In this video, we'll take a closer look sa PNB plus an update on the upcoming PNB Holdings listing and its possible impact on LTG and PNB. Reminder lang, this is for informational purposes only. Hindi ito recommendation to buy this stock. Investing comes with risk, so always do your own due diligence before investing. Before I continue, quick shoutout muna sa mga bagong YouTube channel members kay DJ Twiza, Emily, Lalamera, Arturo, RMZ Who, Televentures, Sherwin, Irish, and Love Urlong SMD. Maraming salamat for joining as channel members and supporting my YouTube channel. I really appreciate your support. Okay, so let's continue. Ang Philippine National Bank ay isa sa pinakamalaking private universal banks sa Philippines in terms of assets, loans, deposits, and capital. It provides a wide range of banking and financial services to a diverse group of clients, from individual depositors, small and medium enterprises, to local and international corporations, as well as overseas Filipinos. Currently, PNB has 631 branches nationwide, and it maintains its position as the Philippine bank with the most extensive international reach. Meron siyang 70 branches overseas across Asia, Europe, the Middle East, and North America. Maraming financial products and services ang PNB. It offers a wide range of banking and financial services, both locally and internationally. Ang core banking services niya includes branch banking, retail lending, institutional banking, trust and wealth management, treasury services, and remittance services. It also offers other products and services through its subsidiaries and affiliates. Here's the revenue breakdown ng PNB based on the latest trailing 12 months data. Retail banking ang pinakamalaki at 54.2%. Ito yung everyday banking like consumer loans, deposits, remittances, and credit cards. Corporate banking ay 22.4%, treasury at 19.3%, and others. If we look at the share price history ng PNB, umabot siya ng 110 pesos noong 2013 and then nag-downtrend siya hanggang nung pandemic. Nag-sideways ang price until early 2024. And around April noong 2024, nag-start mag-recover ang share price niya. At ang laki na itinaas sa share price. Ang 1-year return ng PNB ay 109%. Here's the revenue and earnings history ng PNB from 2016 to September 2025. PNB's revenue has shown steady growth to 63 billion pesos. Kaya lang parang nag-roller coaster ang revenue and earnings ng PNB dito sa chart. Noong 2021, nagkaroon ng spike sa revenue and earnings ng PNB which is not from normal banking operations. PNB recognized a large accounting gain of 33.6 billion pesos from a property for share swap with its subsidiary, ang PNB Holdings. So one-time non-recurring transaction siya, not because of a sudden improvement sa core banking operations ng PNB. And then nag-normalize na siya noong 2022. And from 2023, nag-trending upward na ang revenue and earnings. Sumunod din ang share price ng PNB. Noong April 2024, nag-start din tumaas ang share price niya. Nag-improve ang sentiment due to strong earnings noong 2023. Usually, the share price follows the earnings. Now, tignan naman natin ang key financial metrics ng PNB. Net interest income is the main source of income ng banks from their lending activities. Ito yung interest earned from loans minus the interest paid on deposits. Consistent ang growth every year ng net interest income ng PNB from 2022 to 2025. Strongest noong 2023 plus 19.46% kasi mataas ang interest rates that time, which significantly boosted the net interest income ng PNB, and then nag-slow down dahil sa sunod-sunod na interest rate cuts ng BSP. Looking ahead, net interest income is expected to grow sa 2026 and 2027 based ito sa forecast ng Call Financial. Non-interest income naman refers to income outside of the bank's lending activities. Ito ay ang kita ng bangko from service and transaction fees, asset management fees, foreign exchange fees, remittances, and other non-interest income sources. Nag-decline ang net interest income ng PNB from 2022 to 2024. So bumaba ang kita nila sa mga fees and other non-interest income sources. And nag-recover na siya noong 2025 plus 4.99%. Net income is the company's bottom line profit. Ito ay ang actual na kita ng bank after all the expenses, provisions, interest, and taxes are deducted. Nag-negative 63.54% ang change sa net income ng PNB noong 2022 dahil sa one-time gain noong 2021. Kaya parang ang laki ng drop sa net income but not really due to its banking operations noong 2022. 2023 saw a strong rebound sa earnings coming from higher net interest income noong 2023. PNB's net income and EPS are growing and are expected to continue growing based on the forecast. For the first 9 months of 2025, PNB's profit ay tumaas, up 23% year-on-year to 18.5 billion pesos, supported by strong loan growth and growth in non-interest income. Ito naman ang key performance indicators ng PNB sa first 9 months ng 2025. Tumaas ang return on equity and return on assets, indicating better efficiency in using both equity and assets. Above 10% ROE is considered healthy at sa ROA naman 2% is considered strong. Ang net interest margin ay ang kita ng bangko mula sa lending. PNB has 4.7% net interest margin, which is considered healthy. Napaka-solid din ang cost efficiency ratio ng PNB at 49.5%. EPS grew from 9.8 to 12.07. Interest coverage ratio naman is 2.8 times, which is still acceptable. Overall, very good ang PNB sa key performance indicators niya. PNB also has excellent capital adequacy ratio at 20.8%, which is double the BSP's 10% requirement. Sa non-performing loans ratio, bumaba ang net of allowance and gross of allowance. The lower, the better. Bumaba ang provisions for bad loans as asset quality continues to improve. Liquidity ratios ay slightly lower than last year but still manageable. Asset to equity ratio is 5.3 times, which means that PNB is financially healthy and low risk in terms of leverage. Tumaas din ang book value per share to 150.8. So overall, PNB is in a strong financial position. Now, pag-usapan naman natin ang risk. Unang-una, interest rate risk. PNB's earnings ay dependent sa net interest income. When BSP cuts interest rates, bababa rin ang loan yields, which could affect profitability ng bank. Ganito rin sa ibang banks, not only PNB. On the upside, lower interest rates also make borrowing cheaper, which could encourage more loan demand from consumers and businesses. So this can offset yung pressure sa margins through higher loan volumes. Sa loan volume sila babawi pag nag-interest cut. Pangalawa, economic conditions affecting loans like slower GDP growth, weak consumer spending, or business contraction that can reduce loan demand. Now, pag-usapan naman natin ang dividend history ng PNB. After 9 years without a cash dividend since 2016, nagbigay ulit ng dividend ang PNB noong 2025. Nagbigay siya ng special cash dividend of 2.76 pesos per share, split into 2 equal payments. April and October noong 2025. Ang current dividend yield at the price of 60 pesos is 4.6%. Noong 2021, instead of cash, nagbigay siya ng property dividend sa kanyang shareholders, ang PNB Holdings Corporation. These are the same PNB Holding shares that PNB is now planning to list on the PSE. Now, pag-usapan naman natin ang PNB Holdings at ang kanyang planned listing sa PSE. PNB Holdings Corporation or PHC is the real estate arm of Philippine National Bank. It holds prime properties such as PNB Financial Center in Pasay City, PNB Makati Center in Makati CBD, and the PHC Buendia property. PNB Holdings manages three core business segments that operate across various leasing sectors: office spaces and retail leasing, event venues, and flexible co-working environments. PNB Holdings has filed for registration with the SEC and is preparing to list by way of introduction, pero wala pang exact listing date. The earliest na tinitignan nila ay first quarter of 2026, subject to regulatory approvals and favorable market conditions. Hindi ito normal na IPO where the company issues new shares to raise capital. Since this is a listing by way of introduction, no new shares are being sold to the public initially. Instead, the shares previously distributed to PNB shareholders as property dividends will become tradable sa PSE. Once listed sa PSE, existing shareholders can choose to sell their shares. And pwede na ring bumili ang non-shareholders only if may existing shareholders na magbibenta since hindi ito IPO at walang bagong shares na ibibenta. Ang purpose ng listing is to unlock the hidden value of its prime real estate assets. Beyond unlocking property value, the listing will also boost market visibility of PNB Holdings and create a platform for future growth, including potential partnerships or even a REIT in the future. This will not immediately boost PNB or LTG's earnings since no new capital is being raised. The main benefits are more about unlocking value and improving visibility, while also creating long-term options that could eventually benefit both LTG and PNB and their shareholders. In terms of relative valuation, PNB has a PE ratio of 3.7 times, so good value siya compared to its peers. Price-to-book ratio is 0.4 times. PNB is currently trading below its book value. May calculated intrinsic value is 78.74 pesos. At ang buy below price with 30% margin of safety is 55.12 pesos. I hope you found this video helpful. Pa-like and share na rin to reach a wider audience.